The Valari High Command received the alert within minutes. Across the massive ship, screens lit up with urgent warnings. Officers stopped their work. Soldiers gripped their weapons tighter. Everyone waited to hear what had caused such panic. In the command center, Admiral Bora stood before a wall of screens. He was old for a Valari, his gray skin marked with the patterns of high rank. He had served the Empire for over 200 cycles and had seen many strange things. But he had never seen anything like this. "Show me the data," he ordered. The ship's artificial intelligence, called the core, displayed the information on the main screen. Charts and numbers appeared, showing the analysis of Tay's blood. The core spoke in a calm, measured voice that echoed through the silent room. Analysis complete. Subject designated Human 1. Blood composition contains fatal levels of multiple toxic compounds. Admiral Bora studied the screen. Explain. Iron concentration in blood. Lethal dose. A single drop of this creature's blood would kill a Valari within minutes. The iron would attack our neural pathways and shut down our primary organs. The officers in the room exchanged worried looks. Admiral Bora kept his face still. He was a leader. He could not show fear. "Continue," he said. Adrenaline compound detected. This chemical is produced naturally by the subject's body. It increases strength, speed, and aggression. In Valari biology, even small amounts of adrenaline would cause immediate heart failure. They produce their own combat drugs, one officer whispered, inside their bodies. Additionally, the core continued, the subject contains hydrogen peroxide, hydrochloric acid in the digestive system, and various oxidizing enzymes. Any physical contact with the subject's internal fluids would result in severe chemical burns or death. Admiral Bora was quiet for a long moment. Then he asked the question that everyone was thinking. "Core, what species is this? Have we encountered anything like it before?" The core processed the request. Its lights flickered as it searched through thousands of years of data, analyzing the biological records of every species the Valari Empire had ever found. Searching database. Comparing biological markers to known species. Everyone waited. The silence was heavy. "Search complete," the core announced. "No match found. This species does not exist in any recorded database. The biological composition is unique and unprecedented." Admiral Bora frowned. "Then what are they? Where did they come from?" "Unknown. However, based on the toxic compounds present in the subject's body, a classification has been assigned." "What classification?" The core's voice remained calm, but its words made everyone in the room feel cold. Query: which poisonous species is this? Classification: extreme hazard. Recommendation: no physical contact. Do not consume. Do not allow fluids to touch Valari skin. Treat as biological weapon. Biological weapon? Admiral Bora repeated. Affirmative. The concentration of deadly chemicals in this species suggests it was engineered for combat. No natural evolution could produce such a perfectly toxic organism. But the core was wrong. Tay was not a weapon. He was just a man. A normal human man from a normal human colony. The things inside his blood were not designed to kill aliens. They were designed to keep him alive. Humans had evolved on a dangerous world. Earth was filled with predators, diseases, and harsh environments. To survive, human bodies had developed many defense systems. Iron carried oxygen. Adrenaline helped them fight or run. Acids in their stomachs broke down food. These things were not weapons. They were tools for survival. But the Valari did not know this. They only saw the data. And the data told them that humans were the most dangerous creatures they had ever captured. In the prison cell, Yuna and her crew watched the chaos unfold. The alarms had stopped, but the fear had not. Aliens walked past their cell with quick steps, their black eyes avoiding the humans inside. "They are scared of us," Yoon said in wonder. "Really scared. What did Tae tell them?" June asked. "Probably nothing," Yuna said. "They took his blood. They tested it. And they found something they did not expect." The screen on their wall lit up with a new message. "Warning. Prisoners in Cell 7 contain lethal biological compounds. Maintain minimum distance of 3 meters. Do not touch. Do not allow contact with fluids." Yoon laughed, but it was not a happy laugh. It was the sound of someone who could not believe what was happening. "They think we are poison." "We are poison," Yuna said slowly. To them, at least. She thought about what this meant. The Valari had captured them to use as slaves. But now they were afraid to touch them. Afraid to come near them. How could you enslave something you could not even touch? "This changes everything," June said. "Yes," Yuna agreed. "It does." A door at the end of the corridor opened, and several aliens walked toward their cell. But they stayed far away, at least 5 meters back. One of them carried a device that looked like a communication tool. "You," the device translated. "Human captain." "You will explain." Yuna walked to the barrier but did not touch it. "Explain what?" "Your blood. Your body. How do you survive with such poison inside you?" "It is not poison to us," Yuna said. "It is normal. All humans are like this." "All?" The alien's voice shook. "How many of you exist?" Yuna smiled. It was not a kind smile. "Billions. Billions of humans spread across dozens of worlds. And every single one of us has this blood." The aliens clicked nervously among themselves. Yuna could see the fear growing in their eyes. "You wanted to make us slaves," she continued. "You said we were property. But how can you control something you cannot touch? How can you use something that can kill you with a single drop of blood?" "You will remain contained," the alien said, but its voice was weak. "The Empire will decide what to do with you." "Let me tell you what will happen," Yuna said. "You will release us. You will give us back our ship. And you will never capture another human again. You cannot make demands. You are prisoners." Yuna pressed her finger against the barrier. Sparks flew, and a small drop of blood appeared where the energy had cut her skin. She held up her bloody finger toward the aliens. They all jumped back, some of them falling over each other in their panic to get away. "I think I can make demands," Yuna said calmly. "Because right now, I am the most dangerous thing on this ship." The aliens ran. They did not walk. They did not retreat slowly. They turned and ran as fast as their legs could carry them. Yuna watched them go. Then she looked at her crew. Yoon and June were staring at her with wide eyes. "Captain," June said slowly. "That was impressive." "That was necessary," Yuna replied. "They needed to understand that we are not weak. We are not victims. We are human." Yoon nodded. "But what happens now?" "They will not let us go easily." "No," Yuna agreed. "But they cannot hurt us easily either. We have time now. Time to think. Time to plan." She looked at the bloody spot on her finger and thought about all the things inside her that the aliens feared. Iron, adrenaline, acid, the building blocks of human life. The things that made humans strong enough to survive on Earth, and now, strong enough to survive here too. "Tae will be okay," she said, more to herself than to the others. "If they are this afraid of us, they will not hurt him." Somewhere in the ship, the Valari commanders were having emergency meetings. The Corps was analyzing data. Officers were writing reports. An entire empire was trying to understand how a species so small and weak-looking could be so incredibly dangerous. But humans were not dangerous because of their blood. They were dangerous because of their minds. Because they could think. Because they could plan. Because they never gave up, even when everything seemed lost. The Volari did not know this yet, but they would learn. Hours passed. The prison cell remained quiet, but Yuna's mind was racing. She sat on the cold floor with her back against the wall, thinking about everything that had happened. Yun sat nearby, drawing patterns on the ground with her finger. June stood at the barrier, watching the corridor. "Someone is coming," June said. Yuna stood up. A group of aliens approached, but they stopped very far away, maybe 10 meters from the cell. Between them, walking slowly, was Tae. "Tae!" Yun shouted. He looked tired but unhurt. The aliens pushed him toward the cell from a distance, using long poles to guide him without touching his skin. When he was close enough, they deactivated the barrier for just a second, and Tae stumbled inside. The barrier came back up immediately. Yuna caught him before he fell. "Are you okay?" "I am fine," Tae said. "They did not hurt me. They were too scared to touch me." "We know," June said. "We saw what happened." The whole ship went crazy. Tae sat down and took a deep breath. "They tested my blood, and everything inside it is poison to them. Everything. The iron, the adrenaline. Even my saliva could kill them." Yoon moved closer. Her eyes were bright with curiosity. She had always been the thinker of the group, the one who solved problems. "Tell me exactly what they found." "Iron in the blood," Tae said. "It attacks their nervous system. Adrenaline stops their hearts. Hydrogen peroxide burns their skin. And there was something about stomach acid too. Hydrochloric acid. Apparently, we digest food with something that could melt through their armor." Yoon was quiet for a moment. Then she started to laugh. It was a real laugh this time, full of wonder and amazement. "What is funny?" June asked. "Do you understand what this means?" Yoon said, "All these things, iron, adrenaline, acid, they are completely normal for us. We do not even think about them. But to the Volari, we're walking chemical weapons." She stood up and started pacing. Her engineer mind was working fast. "Think about it. On Earth, humans are not special. We are not the strongest. We are not the fastest. Many animals are more dangerous than us. But here, outside of Earth, we are monsters." Tae nodded. "The doctor said no natural species could have so much poison. They think we were engineered for war. But we were not," Yuna said. "We just evolved on a harsh planet." "Yes," Yuna agreed. "And that is what makes this so incredible. Everything that helped us survive on Earth, everything that made us strong enough to live through ice ages and predators and diseases, all of that makes us deadly to aliens." She turned to face the others. Her face was serious now. "Captain, we have leverage. Real leverage. They cannot touch us. They cannot hurt us without hurting themselves. If we bleed on them, they die. If we spit on them, they die. If we even sweat on them, the salt might be enough to cause damage." Yuna thought about this. It was true. The Volari had captured them expecting to find weak, helpless creatures. Instead, they had found something they could not control. "But they still have weapons," June pointed out. "They could shoot us from a distance. Could they?" Yoon asked. "Think about what happens if they kill us. Our bodies will still be toxic. They cannot dispose of us safely. They cannot eat us. They cannot even burn us without releasing poison into their air systems." "You are saying we are worth more alive," Yuna said slowly. "I am saying we are worth more as friends than as enemies," Yoon replied. "Right now, they see us as a threat. But what if they saw us as an opportunity instead?" Tae looked confused. "An opportunity for what?" Yoon smiled. "Trade, alliance, protection. The galaxy is big, and the Volari are not the only empire out there. What if they have enemies? Enemies that they cannot fight? But we could fight them. You want us to help the people who kidnapped us? June asked. There was anger in his voice. No, Yoon said. I want us to make them understand that kidnapping humans was the worst decision they ever made. And I want them to let us go because keeping us is too dangerous. Yuna was impressed. Yoon was young, but she was smart. Very smart. It could work, Yuna said. But we need to talk to someone important. Someone who can make decisions. As if hearing her words, the screen on the wall lit up. A face appeared on it. An alien face with patterns on its skin that showed high rank. Admiral Bora. Humans, the Admiral said through the translator. I am Admiral Bora of the Volari Empire. I command this vessel. Yuna stepped forward. I am Captain Yuna of the human cargo ship Hana. You have captured my crew and my ship. Yes, you were to be processed as labor units. But circumstances have changed. They have, Yuna agreed. You have learned that we are not what you expected. The Admiral's black eyes studied her through the screen. The core tells me you are biological weapons. Designed for killing. Is this true? No, Yuna said. We are not weapons. We are explorers, traders. We were delivering medicine to our people when you attacked us. Then how do you explain your toxic composition? Yuna looked at Yoon, who nodded and stepped forward. Admiral, Yoon said, we come from a planet called Earth. It is a very dangerous place. Many things tried to kill us throughout our history. Predators, diseases, harsh weather, natural disasters. To survive, our bodies develop many defenses. The things you call poison are just our survival tools. The Admiral was quiet for a moment. You are saying you evolved this way naturally? Yes, impossible. No species could survive such a poisonous environment. Earth is not poisonous to us, Yoon explained. It is home, just as your world is home to you. Just as your world is home to you. Different species evolve differently. We are not more dangerous than any other creature from Earth. On our planet, we are quite average. This seemed to disturb the Admiral even more. You are average? There are creatures more dangerous than you? Yoon thought about tigers, about sharks, about venomous snakes and poisonous frogs, about bacteria and viruses that had killed billions of humans throughout history. Many, she said honestly. Many creatures on Earth could kill us easily. We survive by being clever, not by being strong. The Admiral looked at her with what might have been respect. Or fear. It was hard to tell with alien faces. What do you want? He asked finally. Yuna answered. We want our ship back. We want our freedom. And we want you to let us go. And if I refuse... Yuna held up her hand. The small cut on her finger had healed, but she could make it bleed again. Then we wait. Sooner or later, someone will make a mistake. Someone will get too close. And then you will have a very big problem. You would kill my crew? I would defend myself and my people, Yuna said. But I would rather not. We are not murderers. We did not come here to hurt anyone. You brought us here against our will. The Admiral was silent for a long time. Then he nodded slowly. I will consider your request. But first, I must speak with the High Council. This situation is beyond my authority. The screen went dark. Tay let out a breath he had been holding. That was terrifying. That was negotiating, Yuna said. We have power now. Real power. They cannot ignore us anymore. Do you think they will let us go? June asked. Yuna looked at the barrier, at the empty corridor beyond it, at the massive alien ship that had tried to make them slaves. They will learn to respect us, she said. One way or another, they will learn. And deep in her heart, she knew that this was only the beginning. The Valari had found humanity. But more importantly, humanity had found the Valari. And the galaxy would never be the same again. Tay was taken through long corridors that seemed to go on forever. The two aliens held his arms tightly, their gray fingers wrapped around his skin. He could feel how strong they were. If they wanted to break his bones, they could do it without effort. They brought him to a room filled with strange machines. The walls were white, and the light was very bright. It looked like a medical room, but nothing was familiar. The tools hanging from the ceiling looked like they were made for cutting and drilling. Tay felt sick. A new alien entered the room. This one was different from the soldiers. It wore white robes instead of armor, and its movements were slower and more careful. A doctor, Tay thought, or whatever they call doctors here. The alien doctor looked at Tay with its large black eyes. It made clicking sounds, and a machine on the wall translated its words into human speech. You are a new species. We have not seen your kind before. You will be examined. Please, Tay said. We mean no harm. We are just traders. We were delivering supplies to our people. Your purpose does not matter, the machine translated. You are property now. All property must be classified. Sit. A chair rose from the floor. It had metal restraints for arms and legs. Tay did not want to sit in that chair, but the soldiers pushed him down and locked his limbs in place. He could not move. The alien doctor walked around him slowly, looking at him from every angle. It touched his face, his arms, his chest. Its fingers were cold and smooth. Tay tried not to shake, but he was very afraid. Your skin is warm, the doctor said through the machine. Your body produces heat. Interesting. It pressed something against Tay's chest and listened. 2 hearts. No, 1 heart. But it beats very fast. Are you sick? I am scared, Tay admitted. Scared. The doctor tilted its head. What is scared? Tay did not know how to explain fear to a creature that did not seem to understand it. It is a feeling. When you think something bad will happen to you. Inefficient, the doctor said. Fear serves no purpose. A small drone flew down from the ceiling. It was round and silver, with a single red light on its front. It hovered in front of Tay's arm. The drone will take a sample of your internal fluid, the doctor explained. Do not move. Before Tay could respond, the drone extended a thin needle and pushed it into his arm. He felt a sharp pain, and then the drone pulled back. A small tube on its side was now filled with red liquid. His blood. The drone flew to a machine on the wall and inserted the tube. The machine began to hum and flash with lights. The alien doctor watched the screen with interest. Then something unexpected happened. The machine made a loud noise, like a scream. Red lights began flashing everywhere. Alarms rang through the room and out into the corridors. The alien doctor jumped back from the machine like it had burned him. Warning! Warning! The machine announced in both the alien language and human speech. Toxic substance detected. Extreme danger. Quarantine protocol initiated. The soldiers raised their weapons, pointing them at Tay. The doctor ran to the machine and touched the screen rapidly, clicking in what sounded like panic. What did you do? The doctor demanded. Nothing. Tay shouted. I did nothing. That is just my blood. Your blood is poison. The doctor screamed. The machine says your blood will kill us. Doors slammed shut around the room. A transparent barrier dropped from the ceiling, separating Tay from the aliens. They were now looking at him through the clear wall, their black eyes wide with what Tay now recognized as fear. Maybe they did understand fear after all. Explain, the doctor demanded. What toxic compounds do you carry in your body? I don't understand, Tay said. My blood is normal. All humans have blood like this. Iron. The doctor read from the screen. High concentrations of iron. This element is deadly to all Valari life forms. Tay felt confused. Iron? Humans had iron in their blood. It was what made blood red. It was what carried oxygen through the body. Every human had it from the day they were born. Iron is not poison to us, Tay tried to explain. We need it to live. Impossible. The doctor was shaking now. No species can survive with such poison inside them. More text appeared on the screen, and the doctor read it with growing horror. Adrenaline compound detected. Combat enhancement chemical. This creature can produce its own battle drugs. Hydrogen peroxide traces. Oxidizing acid. Corrosive to organic tissue. The aliens looked at Tay like he was a monster. And in that moment, Tay began to understand something important. The things that were normal for humans, the things that kept them alive, were deadly poison to these aliens. His blood, his hormones, even the chemicals his body made naturally could kill them. You have made a mistake, Tay said slowly. We are not dangerous to you if you do not hurt us. But our bodies are built differently than yours. You lie. The doctor shouted. You are a weapon species. You were created for war. No, Tay said. We evolved on a very harsh planet. Many things tried to kill us. We had to be strong to survive. The doctor was not listening. It was clicking rapidly at the soldiers, giving orders. Tay could not understand the words, but he could guess the meaning. They were deciding what to do with him. Meanwhile, in the prison cell, Yuna heard the alarms. What is happening? Yuna asked. Something went wrong, June said. Or something went right. Yuna pressed against the energy barrier, trying to see down the corridor. Aliens were running past their cell, some carrying weapons, others carrying equipment. They all looked scared. The screen on their wall lit up with new text. Quarantine in effect. Unknown toxic species detected. All personnel must avoid contact with new prisoners. Yoon read the words and looked at Yuna. Toxic species? Are they talking about us? Yuna thought about it. They took Tay. They examined him. And now there is a quarantine. But Tay is not toxic, June said. He's just a normal human. To us, Yuna said slowly. He is normal to us. But maybe not to them. She remembered something from her childhood education. Humans were strange creatures in many ways. Their blood contained iron. Their bodies could produce dozens of different chemicals. Their saliva had enzymes that could break down food. Their immune systems could fight off diseases that would kill other animals. On Earth, humans were not special. But here, in this alien ship, surrounded by creatures who had never seen anything like them, maybe humans were very special indeed. If they are afraid of our blood, Yoon said, then maybe they will not hurt us. Or maybe they will kill us from a distance, June said darkly. Yuna shook her head. No, they wanted slaves. They want to use us. If they could kill us easily, they would have done it already. The alarms continued to ring. More aliens ran past. And somewhere in that medical room, Tay sat alone behind a barrier, surrounded by creatures who now saw him as a monster. But he was not afraid anymore. Because for the first time since they were captured, Tay understood that the humans had something the aliens did not expect. They had power dot, and soon, the Valari would learn what that meant. The cargo ship Hana moved slowly through the dark space between stars. It was a small ship, old but strong. Captain Yuna sat in her chair on the bridge and watched the empty space ahead. She was a woman of 40 years, with short black hair and tired eyes. She had been flying ships for 20 years, and she knew this route well. How long until we reached the station? She asked. Tay, her medical officer, looked at his screen. He was a young man, maybe 30, with a kind face and gentle hands. 6 more hours, Captain. Everything looks normal. Yuna nodded. Normal was good. Normal meant no problems. In space, problems could kill you very fast. The HFY was carrying medicine and food supplies to a human colony on the edge of known space. It was simple work, but honest work. Yuna liked it that way. She had seen enough excitement in her younger days. Now she wanted quiet trips and safe returns. Yun, the ship's engineer, walked onto the bridge with a cup of hot tea in her hands. She was a small woman with long hair tied back in a ponytail. She was the youngest of the crew, only 25, but she was the best engineer Yuna had ever worked with. The engines are running well, Yun said. I fixed that small problem with the cooling system. Good work, Yuna said. The 4th member of their crew was June, the pilot. He was a quiet man who rarely spoke more than necessary. He sat at his controls with his eyes focused on the navigation display. His hands moved smoothly over the buttons and switches. Captain, June said suddenly. His voice was different. There was worry in it. Yuna looked at him. What is it? Something is coming. Something big. Before Yuna could respond, the ship shook hard. Red lights began flashing on every screen. Alarms screamed through the corridors. What hit us? Yuna shouted. We did not hit anything, June said. Something has grabbed us. Some kind of energy field. Yuna looked out the main window and felt her heart stop. A massive ship was appearing out of nowhere. It was at least 50 times bigger than the HFY. Its surface was smooth and silver, covered with strange patterns that glowed with blue light. It was not a human ship. Yuna had never seen anything like it. Is that? Tay's voice was shaking. Aliens, Yun whispered. Yuna had heard stories. Everyone had. Humans have been exploring space for 300 years, but they had never found intelligent alien life. There were rumors, of course. Traders who claimed to have seen strange ships. Colonies that went silent without explanation. But nothing confirmed. Nothing real. Until now. The energy field pulled the HFY closer and closer to the giant ship. Yuna tried everything. She ordered June to fire the engines at full power. She told Yun to redirect all energy to breaking free. Nothing worked. The alien ship's pull was too strong. What do we do, Captain? Tay asked. Yuna took a deep breath. We stay calm. We stay together. And we see what they want. A hole opened in the side of the alien ship, and the HFY was pulled inside. The cargo bay doors closed behind them, and everything went dark for a moment. Then new lights came on, strange purple lights that made everything look wrong. Everyone, stay close to me, Yuna ordered. The crew gathered near the airlock. They could hear sounds outside, clicking and humming sounds that were not human. Then the airlock began to open on its own. Yuna had not touched any controls. Creatures walked into their ship. They were tall, maybe 2 meters, with thin bodies covered in gray skin. They had 4 arms and 2 legs. Their heads were shaped like triangles, with large black eyes that had no whites. They wore silver armor and carried weapons that Yuna did not recognize. The creatures pointed their weapons at the humans and made clicking sounds with their mouths. Yuna raised her hands slowly. We mean no harm, she said. We are peaceful. The creatures did not seem to understand. One of them stepped forward and grabbed Yuna's arm. Its grip was very strong, but also very careful, like it was afraid of breaking her. More creatures came and grabbed the other crew members. Tay tried to pull away. Wait, please. One of the creatures hit him on the head with its weapon. Tay fell to the ground, unconscious. Yun screamed, Stop! Yuna shouted, We will cooperate. Just don't hurt us." The creatures seemed to react to her voice. They stopped and looked at each other. More clicking sounds. Then they grabbed the humans and pulled them off the ship. Yuna looked around as they were dragged through the alien vessel. The corridors were huge and empty. The walls were covered with screens showing strange symbols. Other aliens walked past them, some looking curious, others not even glancing at the prisoners. They were taken to a large room filled with machines. Yuna saw other cells along the walls, some empty and some holding creatures she did not recognize. Other species, she realized. Other captured ships. The aliens pushed the humans into a cell and activated some kind of energy barrier. Yuna rushed to the barrier and touched it. It sparked and burned her fingers. "Do not touch," a voice said. While Yuna looked around. The voice had spoken in her language. Broken and strange, but understandable. A screen on the wall lit up, showing text in human letters. "You are property of Valari Empire now. You will be processed. You will be classified. You will serve." June helped Tay sit up. The medical officer was awake now, but looked dizzy. "What happened?" "We have been captured," Yuna said quietly. "By aliens. The Valari." Yoon read from the screen. "They are called the Valari. What do they want?" Tay asked Dot, as if answering his question. More text appeared on the screen. "Biological processing will begin soon. All subjects must submit to examination. Resistance will result in termination." Yuna looked at her crew. They were scared. She was scared too. But she was the captain, and she had to be strong for them. "We will get through this," she said. "Whatever they want to do to us, we will survive. And we will find a way out." The aliens returned a few minutes later. They opened the cell and pointed at Tay. "You, come." Tay looked at Yuna with fear in his eyes. "I will go with him," Yuna said. "No, only this one." Two aliens grabbed Tay and pulled him out of the cell. Yuna tried to follow, but the barrier sparked back to life in front of her. "Tay!" she shouted. "It's okay, Captain," Tay said, trying to sound brave. "I will be fine." But as the aliens dragged him away into the dark corridor, Yuna could see that he did not believe his own words. None of them did. She pressed her hands against the barrier, ignoring the pain, and watched until Tay disappeared from sight. Then she turned to Yoon and June. "We need to find a way out of here," she said, "before they come for the rest of us." 3 days passed on the Valari ship. The humans remained in their cell, but things had changed. Food and water were delivered regularly now, placed at a safe distance by robots instead of living aliens. The screen on their wall showed news broadcasts from the Valari Empire, translated into human language. Yuna and her crew learned everything they could. The Valari were old. Their empire had lasted for thousands of years. They had conquered dozens of species and made them all into servants. They believed themselves to be the most powerful civilization in the galaxy, that they had never found anything like humans before. The news showed endless discussions about the human problem. Scientists argued about biology. Politicians argued about policy. Military leaders argued about security. Everyone had opinions, but no one had answers. "They are scared," Tay observed. "Really, truly scared." "Good," June said. "They should be." Yuna shook her head. "Fear is useful, but it is also dangerous. Scared people do stupid things. We need them to move past fear and into understanding." "How?" Yoon asked. Before Yuna could answer, the barrier around their cell deactivated. No warning, no announcement. It simply turned off. The crew tensed, ready for an attack. But none came. Instead, Admiral Bora walked into view. He was alone. No guards, no weapons. Just one old alien standing in front of 4 humans. "Captain Yuna," he said through his translator device. "I would like to speak with you. In person." Yuna stepped forward slowly. The Admiral did not step back. "You are very brave," Yuna said. "Coming here alone. You know what our blood can do." "I do," the Admiral agreed. "But I have also learned something else about your species." "What is that?" "You do not attack unless you are threatened. You did not hurt my crew when you had the chance. You did not try to escape when the barrier was down. You simply waited and talked." Yuna nodded. "We are not monsters, Admiral. We never were. I understand that now." The Admiral made a sound that might have been a sigh. "The Council has made a decision. And what is that decision? You will be released. Your ship will be returned. You may go in peace." The crew exchanged shocked looks. Yoon grabbed Tae's arm. June actually smiled for the first time since they were captured. "Just like that?" Yuna asked. She did not trust easy victories. "Not just like that," the Admiral said. "There are conditions. Tell me." The Admiral walked to the wall and touched a control panel. A map appeared, showing the galaxy. Valari space was marked in blue, covering a large portion of the map. But there were other colors too: red, green, purple. Other empires. Other powers. "The Valari Empire has enemies," the Admiral explained. "The Korath Collective has been pushing against our borders for centuries. They have weapons we cannot match, biology that resists our attacks. We have been losing ground slowly, but steadily." "You want us to fight for you," Yuna said flatly. "No." The Admiral shook his head. "We want you to talk for us." Yuna did not understand. "Talk. The Korath are similar to you in some ways. They are also resistant to many toxins. They come from a harsh world. We cannot fight them directly, but perhaps you could reach them in ways we cannot. You want humans to be diplomats? I want humans to be partners." The Admiral turned to face her directly. "We made a mistake capturing your ship. We treated you like animals, and we discovered you were something much more. If we return you to your people, will you tell them what happened here? Will you tell them that the Valari wish to talk, not fight?" Yuna thought about everything she had seen. The cells full of captured aliens. The casual cruelty. The assumption that every new species was meant to be enslaved. The Valari had done terrible things, but they had also shown her something important. They could learn. They could change. They had gone from seeing humans as property to seeing them as equals, all because of a few drops of blood and a few honest conversations. "I will tell my people what happened," Yuna said finally. "I will tell them everything, the good and the bad. And I will recommend that we talk. But I cannot make promises for all of humanity." "I understand," the Admiral said. "One conversation at a time. That is how trust is built." He extended one of his 4 hands toward her. It was a human gesture. He must have learned it from watching them. Yuna looked at his hand. Gray skin, thin fingers. The hand of a creature that had tried to make her a slave. The hand of a creature that was now offering peace. She reached out and took it. The Admiral flinched. His skin shivered where it touched hers. She could see the fear in his eyes, the knowledge that her touch could kill him if she wanted it to. But she did not want to kill. She wanted to show him something. She wanted to show him that humans could be gentle, that they could be trusted, that the poison in their blood did not make them poisonous in their hearts. "Thank you," Yuna said softly. The Admiral relaxed. His grip tightened slightly, then released. "Thank you, Captain, for giving us a chance to be better." The journey back to human space took 2 weeks. The Hana traveled alongside a Valari escort ship, a symbol of the new relationship between their peoples. Yuna spent much of the time writing reports, preparing for the questions she would face when she returned. Tae recovered fully from his examination. The scars were not on his body, but in his mind. Memories of being strapped to that chair, of being treated like a specimen instead of a person. But he was strong. He would heal. Eun was already planning. She talked endlessly about the possibilities. Trade routes, technology exchanges, joint exploration missions. Her engineer brain saw 1,000 opportunities where others might see only problems. June remained quiet, but his silence was different now. Less angry, more thoughtful. He watched the stars through the viewport and seemed to be finding peace. When they finally reached human space, ships came out to meet them. Not warships, just patrol vessels, curious about the strange alien craft traveling with the tiny cargo ship. Hannah, this is Station 12. Please identify the vessel traveling with you. Yuna smiled and pressed the communication button. Station 12. This is Captain Yuna. The vessel is a Valari diplomatic ship. They come in peace, and they have a lot to tell us. Valari? We have no records of that species. You will have records now. A lot of records. Trust me. There was a long pause. Then a different voice came on the line, older and more authoritative. Captain Yuna, this is Admiral Park at Central Command. We are receiving very unusual readings from the alien ship. Can you confirm that you are not under duress? I can confirm, Admiral. We were captured by the Valari 3 weeks ago. They intended to enslave us. But things did not go as they planned. What happened? Yuna looked at her crew. Tae, who had faced alien doctors and survived. Yoon, who had turned their weakness into strength. June, who had stayed calm when everything seemed lost. They took a blood sample, Admiral, and they discovered that humans are the most poisonous species they have ever encountered. They decided that being our friends was safer than being our enemies. Another pause. Then Admiral Park laughed. It was a surprised, incredulous laugh. Our blood is poison to them? Yes, sir. Iron, adrenaline, stomach acid. All of it. They think we are biological weapons. And are we? Yuna thought about the question. Were humans weapons? They had claws that could scratch, teeth that could bite, blood that could kill aliens with a single drop. They had survived ice ages and plagues and wars. They had climbed to the top of their food chain through cleverness and stubbornness and refusal to give up. Maybe they were weapons. But they were also builders, teachers, healers, artists. They could be whatever they chose to be. We are human, Admiral, Yuna said. And today, that was enough. The Hana docked at Station 12. The Valari ship waited outside, its crew watching through their viewports as the first true meeting between humans and aliens began. It would not be easy. There would be arguments and suspicions and old wounds to heal. But it would happen, because humans were stubborn. Because the Valari had learned to respect them. Because sometimes, the most dangerous thing in the galaxy was also the most hopeful. Yuna stepped off her ship and onto the station deck. Reporters were already waiting, cameras flashing, questions shouting. But she ignored them all. She walked to the viewport and looked out at the Valari ship hanging in space. We were never prey, she said quietly, to no one in particular. We were predators wearing peaceful faces. And now the galaxy knows. Behind her, her crew gathered. Tae, Yoon, 4 ordinary humans, who had changed the course of history. And somewhere out in the vast darkness of space, billions more were waiting to do the same. The first contact was over. But the future had just begun.